In the last lecture, we created the individual build control component. Now we want to output a couple of build controls. And for that, I will create a constant, not the state, not a property, just another constant in this file, but one which I won't export, which I'll name controls. And this is optional. You could just hard code all the controls, but I want to have an array through which I can loop to conveniently build all these build controls and render them. So here, I want to have a couple of JavaScript objects. Each should have a label like salad and then a type, also salad but with a lowercase s. And this is just one possible approach. Now I will replicate this for all the ingredients I know in this app, bacon, for example, cheese, and the types, by the way, should meet the types you're checking for in the burger ingredient component in that switch statement. You should have the same casing and so on as here in the type property. Now we got an array of controls, and again, this was just added for convenience. And I want to use it here in my build controls component. First of all, I will use the build controls CSS class. So I will quickly add an import to that. Classes from /build controls CSS, and assign this to the wrapping div here. Classes build controls like this. And now inside of the div, I want to loop through all the controls and render a build control for each of them. So let's first import the build control singular component we created in the last lecture. We can find it in the build control folder, and there it's the build control JavaScript file. Now let's create a loop with curly braces to inline it here because it's really short. Take that controls constant, which is part of this file and which we therefore can access here, because always keep in mind, you're in JavaScript here. Of course, you can access other stuff from this file. So access controls, call map there, and now map each control, so each element of this array, into a build control, a self-closing tag, where you set a key that's required. The key can just be the label because that is a unique identifier. We never have a label more than once. And then also pass label to this build control component. Now the type will become important later. For now, let's see if we can see something. So make sure you save all the files. And now that we export build controls, let's go to the burger builder and insert it here instead of this placeholder. So let's add an import here at the top, build controls from, and now we need to go into the components folder, into the burger folder, the build controls folder, and pick the build controls JavaScript file. And now simply output it here in place of that div. Build controls, a self-closing element. Now if you save that and make sure all files are saved, you should see these build controls below the burger. And these build controls won't do anything just yet, but we're really close to hooking up these buttons and hence editing this burger.